Hello everyone, I'm Gail Thompson. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Now it's time to get started on those thank you notes. Today we're going to use the Sunny Studios Petite Poinsettia for our thank you note. There are two different sizes of poinsettias and we're going to just use one today, but I just wanted to show you, yes, the stamps are stained. That just means it's a high quality stamp. It won't hurt them a bit. You can also go to Sunny Studios' website and get a diagram of how to lay out the stamps the normal way. But we're going to go backwards again, and I'm going to do the blank lightest color first. And we're going to use our Misty because it's hard for me to get on top of it with the camera over me. And this just seemed like the quickest way to do it. So we're going to load the Kraft Cardstock in there. This is Desert Storm, Neenah Desert Storm. And I'm going to put the base layer on after I'm putting on a plastic sheet. Now this isn't, the grid part we're not really using. I'm just doing it in case there's any ink still on the stamp. I wiped it down, but I didn't want to booger up the cardstock. So we're just going to place it randomly on the card. I'm only going to show you one flower this time. And then you just pull off that acetate sheet and you're going to use our secret weapon, Hero Arts Unicorn White Pigment ink. Once you stamp with the pigment ink, you can use dye ink without any problem. And a lot of people don't keep a lot of pigments around, so I thought that this would be good to show. And yes, there's a little bit of pink in the middle of that die pad, and it really doesn't hurt anything, but especially if you're going to use it for techniques. But I'm going to get a separate one that's pure white. So we're just going to stamp this down. And then I'm going to wipe off the pigment ink and we're going to go with our first color. Doesn't really matter so much if the pigment ink is dry on this. And I'm going to use Pale Tomato Hero Arts ink. And that color is deceptively dark when you look at the lid. But since it's going on white, it'll lighten up a little bit for us. Ohio had, in Central Ohio anyhow, we had a lovely Christmas day. It was beautiful and sunny and we had probably 2 or 3 inches of snow. I hope you had a wonderful holiday as well. Now we're going to go to the second layer, which would be the middle layer in either case, if you were doing it the normal way or this way. And I'm going to lay that acetate back down. This acetate you can copy off of the website of My Sweet Petunia, or Simon Says Stamp sells it. So I'm just going to line up. This is a fairly easy flower to line up. And especially the center stays blank. So you can always get it centered and then just kind of move the petals, or brocks as they are called. Poinsettias do not have petals, they have brocks, B-R-A-C-H-T-S. Now we're going to pull that acetate off. We're going to go in with the Hero Arts Mid-Tone Red Royal. This is a dye ink. It's a special kind of dye ink, but any dye ink would work for this. See, it's coming together beautifully. Now, you really need to get this dry. And I hit it with I hit it with the heat gun a little bit. See what happens if you don't let it dry? So I let the second one dry longer than what I thought it needed. You can sprinkle embossing powder on it before you put your VersaMark ink, and if it sticks, then it's still wet. Then you just line up, this is going to be the top, the gold metal fleck embossing layer. And we're going to stamp that with VersaMark ink after we use our powder bag. Always, always use that. After you've got all this work in, you hate to ruin your flower at this level. My VersaMark pad's a little dry, so I spent a little extra time pouncing around there. And I do apologize for the glare from the lights, but I wanted to get it as bright as possible. I work out of a basement. I don't have any beautiful windows on my mid-level to use. The sun doesn't come in any of them directly. And so now we're going to get out the Wow Metallic Pale Gold Embossing Flex. And it's important before you use this to shake it, because sometimes you'll wind up with a bunch of glitter and not enough kind of the powder to adhere it. I noticed that on some of mine. It kind of settles in the jar, so I always shake it. And I put the lid on, even though I wanted to show you, because I dump stuff all the time. See how it kind of even separates there on the coffee filter? Now I'm going to let my heat gun heat up here for just a second. I actually left all this in real time, so I'm sorry. Just hit it real quick. You'll be able to tell it'll get all sparkly. To finish off this card, I added the leaves. I did it later because if you try to put the two stamps together, the flower and the leaf stamp, you can't get them close enough, I think, to look good. So I did the leaves separately. Then I put some gold stickles in the middle of each for the centers of the poinsettias. I stacked up thank you dies cuts, about 4 of them, and then added diamond accents. Let that dry, glued it on a gold vellum little panel there, and there is your card for the day. I hope you enjoyed this and that you'll come back and visit me. Almost all the supplies are listed below, and there are pictures of them at my website, the Darby Creek Diaries. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.